guys, and welcome to Empty Diaries. If today's your first time here, my name is Leanna. I am a third-year medical student at Penn State, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic. But before we get into the video, I do hope that you know that you're amazing, and sometimes when you're working on things, it just doesn't work out. But it just means re-strategizing things and doing it again. But it never means that you're not going to be successful, because I believe in you. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so today's topic, it's about finances in medical school. Okay, now why am I going to talk about money? Because 1, I'm a medical student. 2, I like money. 3, there's a lot of loans, baby. Like, we need to talk about them, okay? Or someone has to talk about them. And I'm going to share a little bit of information here, okay? And then I probably can't finish it all in this video. So I'm going to share some things here. And then maybe another video, I'm going to share more things, all right? But I do want to start by saying the average debt of a medical student coming out of medical school is around 250 to 300,000 US dollars, US choppable dollars. Okay, so this just means that you go to medical school, whatever loan you take can literally buy you a house. Okay, a house in a nice area, get a little urban, snobby neighbors, can get you a good house when you go to medical school. Okay, that's a lot. Now I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of how much it costs for me personally in medical school, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about like what I personally am doing or how I'm handling tuitions and stuff like that in medical school. Okay, so talking about the breakdown, a year of medical school usually contains like 2 semesters, right? Your fall semester and then your spring semester, both come in together for me personally to be around like $80,000. Okay, now this is just usually in half. So $80,000, that means $40,000 for the fall semester and $40,000 for the spring semester. That's a lot of money. That's not accounting for how much food you're going to buy, if you're going out with friends, if you have other things that you're paying for. So you can imagine, like, in a semester, you're literally close to around $50,000 in terms of expenses and tuition and all the things that you need to live an okay life as a medical student, right? So it is very expensive. How are most students, affording this thing? And that's through loans, okay? Most schools allow or give the chance, or the government, let me say, gives students the chance to take on subsidized loans, sometimes subsidized loans, depending. And then you can take as much. Most schools offer around, like, sometimes, I'm probably gonna say sometimes $20,000 to $24,000 a semester. Hold on, let me check that. Okay, I just checked. And most schools or most government institutions offer up to around $28,000, $30,000 for a year, right? So that's how most medical students afford this. That means that some people go ahead and take all the loans that is being offered because they have to be able to afford, housing, eating, going out with friends and all that. So some people just straight out take or the $30,000 that's being offered for the year. Some people cut it in half, or some people take whatever it is that they think they need to be able to afford all the different things that comes with medical school. So as you can see, the whole journey is pretty expensive. My first point here, or what I'm trying to drive at, is if you're really not interested in medicine, okay, and you haven't thought about these things, it's important to sit down and think about them. Don't let anyone rush you into medical school, because it comes with a huge time commitment, and it also comes with a great expense, right? So you don't want to go through something you're not passionate about, come out with a loan and just like working crazy hours because someone told you they wanted you to become a doctor. So I hope that if you decide to go into medical school, you actually want to do this and you're not just going in because they said you're going to earn some good money or just for prestige or whatever it is, okay? So that's first point, by the way. Now let's go back to the money issue, okay? How am I affording medical school? Luckily for me, I have about, let's see, I'll say about 4 different scholarships for medical school. There's a dean scholarship, and then there are minor scholarships in between where I've applied for and I've been able to get them. And that's what helps me to pay for medical school. So it pays for like a good amount of my medical school expenses. And then there's very little for which I take loans for, just so I don't share more details on that. That's what I'm going to say for now. But what I'm trying to also say, my second point here is there's opportunities for people to apply for scholarships, right? There are different kinds of scholarships available for students. You do need to reach out to your institution's financial aid office. Some people throw around scholarships. There's like dean scholarships around available for people. People don't apply because they don't know. There's multiple kinds of scholarships. Sometimes it's because the scholarships are very dependent or they're very specific. Some of them will say if you're from this county, or some of them will say if you've been living in this state for a long time. So they make some of the scholarships might be very specific, okay? But if you don't ask, you're never gonna find out. So I would say that if you want to be able to think about these financial things for medical school, then make sure that if you are in medical school, you're reaching out to your financial aid office. If you're not and you're still applying, I would say reach out to the financial aid office as well and ask them, hey, like what kind of scholarships do you guys offer to students? If you're someone in a underrepresented in medicine category, you can also ask, do you have any scholarships do you have any diversity scholarships? Yeah, so those are the things that I'm doing. And some schools also offer loans as well, which is usually lower than what the government would offer. But sometimes it's really helpful just to cover the little things, right? So that's number 2 on my thought process on this whole financial issues. Number 3 is, as a medical student, you can actually work, okay? Sorry, I don't know where that accent came from. That was horrible. Anyways, you can actually work as a medical student, okay? Yeah, in my first and second year, I worked. In my third year, I currently am still working, but it's a little bit more lax because, you know, sometimes you have to go into the hospital and you just can't pick up any shifts at all. I work in the library at my school, which is like a minor job, but it pays not crazy good, but it pays enough for me to get, you know, like the groceries, fill my gas, sometimes go out with friends, all that. So that's like one of the big things that I do. I know other friends who were nurses before starting medical school, and they still pick up shifts and go to work and all that. I work for a different company as well, so I also do that. So don't let people tell you that you can't work as a medical student, okay? Even if it's earning very little a day or at a time, it's going to be helpful in that it's going to contribute to the little money you use to go out with your friends, what you use to fill your gas, what you use to just go to the bar, or whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, that's point number 3. You can work as a medical student. My point number 4 on this is have a budget, okay? Now, you probably have heard this before, but budgeting is very, very important, okay? A lot of med students sometimes would be like, oh, you know what? I studied so hard for these exams. I deserve to spoil myself. And the thing is, some of us make purchases that are like, I really don't need this for a long time, but I just bought it because I felt like I should spoil myself. And that comes with financial consequences. Like, as medical students, we're literally living on loans, okay? So you want to make decisions that are helpful to you, not harmful to you. Now, that being said, I'm not saying that don't enjoy yourself, don't buy things, but know what kind of things you can buy. Just because you feel like spoiling yourself does not mean just spend money buying anything and everything, okay? You should probably try to live on the cheaper side, and that means budgeting what you want to do. Let's say a semester, or maybe this week. yeah, you can budget to the day, to the week, to the month. Just make sure that you give yourself a cap on like, okay, this is how much I'm going to spend. This is how much I am going to save if you have the chance of saving something, okay? Without budgeting, people just spend and they don't keep track because it's like, oh, $5 here, $10 here, $5 there. By the time you realize that's like a big amount of money and you probably didn't even realize it was gone because you didn't budget. Okay, so budgeting will help you keep track of your money, and it's going to help you make sure that you're saving even the little that you have. Now, I'm just sharing these from personal experience because these are things that I personally am doing, and they're helping me. The last thing I would say is that as you're going through medical school, most people are like, oh, the money doesn't matter. I'm just there because I have a passion for it. Yes, there's a passion for it. I have a passion for medicine, but it's also like you want to choose a specialty where, you're going to get what you're going to get your worth. Okay. There's some specialties that pay really low. So if you're going into it and you're like, oh, money doesn't matter, I don't care about money, rethink about it, okay? You don't care about money in that money is not your biggest goal, but you want to make sure that you are getting a lifestyle that can help you pay for the loans you're getting, okay? You don't want to spend so much time in school, medical school, undergrad, blah, 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 going through all the training, fellowship, and then come out and not be able to pay your loans. That is going to be disturbing. That is going to be harmful. So as you're going through the process, make sure that you're thinking, okay, like, this is what I'm interested in professionally. How much am I going to be getting, or approximately at the end of the year, as a profession in this subspecialty? How am I going to be paying off my loans? These are things. It's never too early to start thinking about your financial decisions because eventually they will come. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're thinking about these, that yes, obviously you're not going in there because of the money, but the matters. Now, that being said, some people think that going into a surgical specialty means that you're going to pay off your loans quickly, but they actually don't correlate, okay? It's all about how well you can plan. If you're able to plan things well, you will be able to pay your loans off quickly. But if you're someone who doesn't plan or budget and you spend as you get, then you're not going to be able to pay your loans quickly, even if you're in a surgical specialty. So yeah, these are some things that I have been implementing in my life concerning my financial decisions as a medical student. There's a lot more I can share on this, okay? But this is like, I feel like these are the basic important things that everyone should know as you're going into medical school or as you're thinking about medical school, that the money aspect is a big thing, okay? You can't close your eyes to it. You can't turn your mind off to it. So as you're going through the process, always have that in your mind, and it's going to be helpful for you. So I will see you guys on the next video next week. Let's all make great financial decisions. Peace and love.